Yeah, dude, I've already put them all out. I'm positive. I don't make these anymore.
I was just making sure.
He does.
Hey, and I haven't looked at the directly. I have new business. Just to let you know. I'm trying to get these pushed through. Like I said, we're not doing any segments on the back end. I'm stepping in. I'm talking about the motions. So I'm just saying to be ready. I'm going to be raising my hand. That's what I'm telling you.
Break it down for us.
I thought you would be able to pick up what I was stepping.
Brilliant.
No.
Reading words. I know.
Hey, can I borrow your phone?
You may want to say that.
So why are we
I call this meeting to order at 5:00 p.m. If there are no objections, we will approve the minutes as distributed. Okay, are there any students here on behalf of the forum? Okay, we have no presenters, so I'll go into my report. We don't have ideal pages this week, so if you need to, if you plan on making a motion or anything of that sort, you'll have to bring it up here and try to limit the note passing unless it's absolutely necessary. So just a heads up about that. First thing I have is finals week table sign up. Ooh. So I'm gonna send this around. So every semester, typically during finals week, we always do coffee and donuts. So we will be doing coffee and donuts on Monday, December 11th and Wednesday, December 13th from 8 to 10 a.m. And they're in 1-hour shifts, and each shift has a max of 2 people. So I'm just gonna send that around and just sign up and wear your polos, look nice, look presentable, and just kind of interact with everyone. So if you have any questions about that, let me know later. Up next, okay, so Sexual Assault Awareness Committee. This is something new. Well, it's been in existence, but they haven't really had a purpose. It's informal, and so Mindy Pipkin, the new Title IX coordinator, she has kind of taken over that, and we met during the summer, and we met again this weekend. We kind of just went through whether or not we wanted to keep the name the same, what our purpose was, whether we wanted it to be a formal or like a formal university committee, or if we wanted to keep things informal. So this meeting today was just more of planning of what we wanted a committee to look like, as well as we looked at the University of Illinois. We looked at their committees and kind of got some ideas on goals and purpose and language and things like that. And so we're going to be going back and forth through email and voting on that. But that's just something that we're going to start the process of making a formal university committee. It will probably not happen until the May board meeting because all university committees have to get approved through the Board of Trustees. And so this is something that is happening and is in the works. So I just wanted you guys to know about that. And then Provost Search Committee update. So Senator Burton and I serve on the Provost Search Committee. And just a quick update that we got the other day. So we finalized the position description of what the provost does and what we're looking for from UCA's perspective. And they have posted the job already online. It's in the Chronicle of Higher Education as well as other magazines and things of that sort, as well as on our UCA website. So we've had 11 candidates apply so far, and there's about 25 to 26 that are considering. And so everything's on track and on schedule. We'll be doing interviews in February. And now we're just gonna wait for everyone to apply. Typically everyone waits until the last minute to apply because of the laws that we have. They don't want their name being out there for a long period of time, and so we're just going to wait on that, and we'll keep you guys updated. But if you have any questions, please let me know, and if you know of anyone at another institution or anything of that sort that you think would be good in this role, please let me know so we can pass along the name to the search committee firm, and they can look into that person and contact them and things of that sort. So please know that you have the ability to do that. So any and all recommendations are welcome. And that is all that I have. Are there any questions? Okay. Vice President Reed.
Okay. I called my report Good Tidings. What is that? Oh, it's not okay. Because it's just good things. I wanted to end the year or the semester with you guys on happy note. So the first one, demerits start over in the spring. So after this meeting, everybody will have 0. And we're very excited about that. And stats. Yay! So keep up with appealing and everything in the spring. Yeah. Happiness. We do have some new faces joining us in the spring. Thank you, Appointment Committee. They will not be starting until January, but we have 4 new senators and a new office worker who will also be starting in the spring. So make her feel welcome, and all of them. This Thursday, I understand it might be a little confusing the way I described what to wear. This is the least confusing way I'll say it. Look better than you do for Senate. Least confusing way I can say it. But feel free to Christmas accessorize. However you take that. And I have the menu for Thursday night, which is 6 o'clock at the President's house. Be there or be square. Here's the food. Ready? Fresh, sliced fruit on a platter. Chicken tenders with dipping sauces. Pesto tortellini skewers. Coconut shrimp with tropical salsa. Honey garlic cocktail smokies. That's weird. Herb cheese stuffed mushrooms. Pumpkin mousse tart, which I've never had before, but I'm very excited about. And sparkling punch and water. The sparkling punch is so good. So, sorry.
Do you have the names and positions of the new senators who will be joining us?
I will give that to you when we approve them at that meeting, at the next meeting in the spring.
Yeah. Senator Pershing.
So we can't wear Christmas sweaters to this thing? I'm so confused.
I definitely misspoke on that one. We want you to look classy.
Okay.
But if you have like a Christmas sweater, you can send me a pic because I like those.
Any other questions? Okay, Vice President McAfee.
up on the screen. There we go. But it's not on your agendas, and I apologize. I meant to add it on, and it's my job. Okay. So our PR committee is hosting a welcome back to school event at the beginning of next semester. It'll be Thursday, February 18th, down in the Student Center lobby. It's just a fun way for the PR committee to just say welcome back to all the students. We'll be handing out cookies and hot chocolate and giving out some PR events or PR materials. So if you want to stop by, do that. It'll be a great course. Excuse me. It's January 18th, not February. Sorry, I don't know why I read it. So stop by, see your fellow PR committee members, and give them a hug. Yeah. Okay. Next, the website is updated with everyone's composites and the group photo. Almost, sorry, we'll do there. So if you want to get that printed for your parents for a holiday gift, that's a great idea. So just go onto the website. If you have problems downloading it with whatever like browser you're using, just let me know and I can email it to you. And if there are any changes, if I misspelled something or anything like that, just let me know. I'd love to get that corrected for you. Senator fun fact. This senator has never been to Disney and was on their high school bowling team. Bowling. Strike. Any guesses? Look around. Who looks like a great bowler?
Can I ask a point of information? Do you mean Disneyland or Disney World or both?
All of the above. Nothing Disney.
Okay.
There you go.
I see.
Would that be Senator Smith?
I don't think so.
Been to Disney World.
Senator Lockheed.
Senator Askew.
Nope. He looks like a good bowler out here.
Senator Whitby.
Senator
Willis? Willie?
You
got it. Give us your best bowling form.
It's been a while.
There you go. Congratulations. So is it Disneyland, Disney World, and all of the above Disney? I assume. Never been to anything Disney?
No.
Okay, good. I spoke for her, but still very exciting. We should go sometime. I've never been either.
Yeah, let's do it.
Okay, so, okay, last but not least, Senator of the Week. This senator has been described as the spark that SGA has always needed. This senator is always so friendly and happy to serve. They're a rare gem. The senator is always engaged not only with peers but also with fellow senators. So congratulations, Senator Locking. Congratulations. And then because this is the last Senate meeting of the semester, we will start back up with Senator of the Week next semester. Happy holidays.
Any questions?
Okay.
Vice President Cobb.
Great. All right, quick report on the status of this Buckles event on January 24th. So again, for those of you who don't know, we are bringing Jeffrey Buckles. The contract has been sent out, so we should be getting that back pretty soon here. So the committee met of those who could meet last Thursday, and we had a phone call with Jeff, and we kind of ironed out some of the details, or at least some of the details that we need to focus on and further iron out. So one of the biggest things is we set times for his large speaking events, and those times are going to be 4:30 p.m. and 8:30 p.m. These are going to be large sessions, and that'll be hosted in Ida Waldron. So again, we're going to be trying to pack out all of these. We already have a lot of people interested, and a lot of people who control large amounts of people, and so when they're asking all of their whether it's athletics, they're asking a lot of their athletes to go, or if it's housing, asking a lot of their RHA members to attend. So we're hoping that we're going to get a lot more people. But again, if y'all want to go ahead and begin promoting this in your own subgroups, that would be fantastic, because we don't want it to just be several large groups. We want it to be a lot of different people exposed to the material that he'll be presenting on. In addition to that, we're looking at setting up a couple small groups of I guess kind of like a luncheon or something like that, as well as like other small group sessions with more direct groups. So it's something that I'm shooting for, is potentially getting SGA to kind of have this little sit-down session with him maybe with like housing or PD or something like that, where they can kind of sit down and it's more of a informal Q&A session where we can really kind of flesh out and kind of give him a look into the climate that's on our campus, so that he can kind of help us with direction and maybe experience in regards of how to handle some situations that our campus is seeing. So that's kind of where we're at right now. Again, the committee's kind of working on all the other details, so if y'all have any recommendations or anything, feel free to let myself or anyone that may be on the committee know. And in regards with that, if the members of the Buckles ad hoc committee can meet with me afterwards, after this, I just want to touch on a couple things for those who weren't able to be at the call. And lastly, so the Porter Project. So we met for the last time. Well, I wasn't able to go. I was in class. But the committee met last Wednesday, and they kind of talked about the yearly renewal of the contract. So while we have a contract that terminates in 2021 with Airmark, there are yearly revisions that are made to the contract. And they're small revisions. It's never anything like large, like, oh, let's do some grand thing. But sometimes it's stuff like signage, maybe a slight change in the hours of operation, stuff like that. So if there are things that maybe you've noticed a lot of people kind of mentioning here and there, whether it's on the go or they've directly made you aware of this, feel free to let me know. Also let Senator McGarity know, because again, that's kind of her area of expertise. And so just kind of keep that in mind, because again, we do have a lot of sway with things that go on, particularly with housing and food service, and this is a pretty big thing because it affects a pretty large number of students. So kind of keep your ears open, and if you hear anything that we think we might be able to help change or get something new implemented that's small time, then that's stuff that we can kind of focus on for the here and now. And I think that at least Senator McGarity probably has a wealth of ideas, and I'm sure some of you all do as well. So let us know. Keep us updated.
Any questions? Senator Barnes.
Did you provide a date for the Buckholz sessions, full archery sessions?
Yes.
What was it? What day was it?
January 24th. Wednesday, January.
Any other questions? Okay. We will go into standing committee reports, academic affairs, Senator Eddie and Sarah.
Academic Affairs is going to be working with Internal Affairs next semester to review the requirements to be an academic college representative. And then as we're kind of working through that process, we'll also be working with the exec and the advisors too. So more updates to come.
Diversity, Senator Murphy.
Hello. So the diversity committee is having a meeting on Wednesday with the Office of Diversity and Community to talk about our participation in diversity care for next semester. Exam is Wednesday, so I get 8:30.
And just another date to put on your radar, next semester, the Office of Diversity and Community is going to be doing a diversity fair. And it's, you need the date just slip. I had it memorized, and I will get it to Meg. I'm so sorry. I had it and just lost it. Okay. SFAC, Senator Brady.
So the material that we submitted to Diane Newton was given the nod of approval. I think she's still looking over the memo language, but was very approving of the timeline for the fee hearings for next semester and semesters to come. So we'll continue to work out some logistical details and collect the information necessary for the contract.
We will go into goal committee reports, campus and Senator Miller.
Hello, everyone. I have a short report, but it's Karan just said, Senator Marley just said exam jam is Wednesday. And Senator Rivera was able to go to a meeting this week, and we can't give them money, but we can give them volunteers. So we are using around a volunteer sign-up sheet. It's from 8 to 10, so we're doing 7:30 to 10:30 to help them set up and tear down. If you can go for 10 minutes, 30 minutes, 3 hours, whatever, you just put your name on this list, and then Senator Rivera will be in contact with you. She's not here this evening, so don't look for her. But her email is on the bottom if you don't already have it, and then I'm going to get this to her, so she will contact you after Senate. But if you guys have just a little bit of time to help them, it's really fun. You can still participate in everything. So just to have extra hands on deck and for SGA to be able to be a part of something that interacts with so many students is great. So I'm going to start this. Yay. And then Senator Willie has a meeting with Brandon Price during Exterior on Thursday to discuss the Spring Spirit Week. So hopefully next semester we'll have some updates on that, which is incredibly exciting. And we will be presenting to y'all the UCA Women's Volleyball resolution this evening.
Okay, thank you. Any questions? Housing and food, Senator McGarry.
Having our last meeting this semester at 9 p.m. tomorrow. Next semester, hopefully, our meeting time will be a bit earlier, if I was late. At this meeting, we'll be looking over back at our goals for the semester, like seeing what we need next semester to work towards these goals. This week, we're standing in front of cafeteria and asking students if they want. We'll be willing to pay $5 for recyclable food boxes, and we're having a meeting for sex.
Okay, any questions? Internal affairs, Senator Wilkie.
Internal Affairs is still working on the demerit bylaw policy.
Thank you. Outreach, Senator Staub.
We emailed our PR stuff today. Last week we met, and so for PR committee, we're taking over with that for as far as PRing for Day at the Capitol. Then I touched base with everyone and made sure that we were contacting our representatives. Our meeting next semester are already kind of in line for getting more questions answered with Kelly Erstein as far as transportation goes. Because I had a lot of questions in that email as I did, and he said, just come in and talk to me. So I said, okay. So I have scheduled that meeting, and then we're going to revisit our recycling housing competition thing among freshmen next semester. Possibly having like an SGA sponsored trophy. I don't know. And then working on shirt designs with the Coke money.
Awesome. Any questions? Okay. Safety, Senator Askey.
All right, so in our meeting last week, we were able to review our findings from the campus climate survey. Unfortunately, it didn't give us as many goal ideas as we hoped it would, but it did make us aware of a couple of small infrastructure issues on campus that we're informing the fiscal plan about. For the upcoming semester, we're going to be looking into the It's On Us campaign, and that's all I have.
Any questions? Okay, student resources, Senator Ramirez.
Good afternoon, everybody. Alrighty. So Senator Hawkins met with Dr. Seeger, the Director of Housing, to talk about printing for the dorms, and he informed him about approaching the project. And so Housing and Food will work together with student resources to tackle the project for next semester. And we are really excited for the new members to be on the committee for next semester. Updates to come.
Thank you. Any questions? Okay. We'll go into University Committee. Senator Martins.
The Public Art Committee met last week on Friday. We had two main topics of discussion. First of all, a senior art student presented about her plan for an outdoor installation on campus next semester in April. It pertains to small cast iron bunnies, and it's really cute, but I won't tell you much more about it. But it's gonna be fun. And then Brian Young, the director of Baum Art Gallery, also presented about the possibility of an installation from an artist who works with foam core, and foam core being like a very primitive kind of way of, presenting art. So not primitive, but it's just a little. He wanted some advice from us about possibly having that in the art gallery, since it just kind of reviewing the pros and cons of having this installation. And otherwise, Vice President Pfaff was there because he just wanted to hang out. So yeah, that's it.
It was fun.
Awesome. Yeah, I'm excited for the new piece to come on campus. Senator Burton.
The Strategic Budget Advisory Committee, SBAC, three of your exec members are voting members, not the non-voting member. We did meet last week, and we voted on the ranking for proposals that are being sent to President Davis or already have been sent to President Davis for base budget proposals, essentially. So things to do with academic affairs and university relations, general operation of the university. It's really cool things.
Thank you. Carly just said we voted.
Right.
Any questions? Okay, any other university committee reports? Senator McNary.
The Study Abroad Advisory Committee met last week. We found out that international students are eligible to receive study abroad scholarships. And every year there are lots of study abroad trips that don't make people who are best students, so international students are able to receive these scholarships and these trips make. We made a motion saying that we are in favor of international students having the ability to receive these scholarships.
Awesome. Any other university committee reports? Okay. We have no, wait. Oh, did you have your hand up? I'm sorry.
Yes, I'm sorry. It's just a
Yeah.
question.
Senator Andres.
Senator McGarry, I'm not sure I understand. Does it mean that international students already have the right to do it, or will they have the right in the future?
We're trying to get them to have the right.
Oh, okay.
Right now they are.
Thank you.
What does the process look like for that? Do you know? No? Okay. Or if they yeah. Okay. Any other questions or any other reports for university committees? Okay. We have no unfinished business, so we will go into new business. Vice President Powell.
All right, I move that, in accordance with the Finance Committee, the UCA SGA allocate no more than $10,000 to provide Bear Patrol with an additional golf cart. Details provided in corresponding handout. All funds derived from the SGA projects account.
Second. It has been moved and seconded that in accordance with the Finance Committee, the UCA SGA allocate no more than $10,000 to provide Bear Patrol with an additional golf cart. Details provided in corresponding handout. All funds derived from the SGA projects account. Discussion, Vice President Powell.
Great, so I think that there would be an overwhelming sentiment that would agree with me in that Bear Patrol is A, taken off this semester and been a great hit, and that there are a lot of students who use it. But B, that this is an opportunity for us to reach out to a new organization, one that was, the idea was kind of founded within SGA, and then actually brought forth, been incredibly successful, and this is our way to show our support monetarily. Again, and in case there are any questions, so Bear Patrol is an RSO, and as such, they had the ability to request SAPA or emergency SAPA. This is their only semester, so they could have requested emergency SAPA. I didn't think that that was necessary in this instance, more so because I wanted this to be a gift from SGA potentially. And again, finance was experienced with this, and I think this is a fantastic way for us to show our support. And given the the financial I guess power that we have, ability that we have right now, I don't think there's a better thing that we could spend our money on. So.
Any other discussion? Senator Andres.
To whom belongs the other cart that Bear Patrol uses?
Yes, so, and Ben at any point, or Senator asks if you'd like to step in, but I believe it belongs to Bear Patrol. And I believe it was purchased by UCA PD, and they are allowed to use the golf cart for Bear Patrol's needs. So now it is my understanding that the battery is actually dead currently on that golf cart, so it's already kind of decommissioned. So not only would this be adding to the number of people that could serve, but right now it would be supplementing the people that could serve. So.
Any other discussion? Any questions? Senator August.
How long would it take whenever we allocated how much it is that we will allocate? How long will it take for them to buy the card and to have it working? I don't know who to address.
Yeah. So the way it'll work is we'll essentially fill out a purchase order for the golf cart, and it would just go directly. Again, if you look at that, it's Golf Carts of Arkansas that's selling it. So they're established as a vendor because they're actually who purchased the golf carts for UCA PD. That's who we purchased our golf carts for. I believe not even just UCA PD, but golf carts on campus, their fiscal plan as well. So it should not be a very long time. I don't anticipate it happening before the end of this semester, just because of the time frame. So it'd most likely be something that would be there at the start of next semester. At least that's my anticipation.
Any other discussion? Okay, it has been moved and seconded that in accordance with the Finance Committee of the UCA SGA, allocate no more than $10,000 to provide Bear Patrol with an additional golf cart. Details provided in corresponding handout. All funds derived from the SGA projects account. Roll call vote.
Abbott?
Yes.
Askew?
Forced abstention.
Audrus?
Yes.
Bali?
Yes.
Barnes?
Yes.
Berkla?
Yes.
Burton?
Yes.
Chaplin? DePersia? Yes. Zikes?
Yes.
Ettinger Lucero?
Yes.
Gilbert?
100% yes.
Gomez?
Yes.
Hawkins? Johnson? Walkings?
Yes.
Lavera? Marbley? McAfee, yes. McGarity?
Yes.
Mendez?
Yes.
Miller?
Yes.
Morrison? Asile?
Yes.
Bath?
Yes.
Ramirez?
Yes.
Redding? Yes. Riggins?
Yes.
Robinson? Sebastian? Sierra? Smith?
Yes.
Stock?
Yes.
Tarka?
Yes.
Teeter?
Yes.
Whitby?
Yes.
Willie?
Yes.
With 30 yeses, 0 noes, 0 abstentions, and 1 forced abstention, the motion passes. Okay, Senator Burton.
I move that in accordance with the Finance Committee, the UCA SGA allocate up to but not to exceed $72,000 over terms of a 2-year multi-installment contract with the bike share company. All funds derived from the from the SGA reserves account. Our financial involvement is contingent upon receipt of a letter of guarantee on behalf of the university stating that the University of Central Arkansas would provide $24,000 per year, so $48,000 per 2 years for the bike share program. The SGA would supplement the remaining $12,000 a year, so $24,000 over 2 years. And the implementation of this motion is contingent upon a contractual agreement with the bike share company reached by December 31st, 2017.
Second.
So, after we read this. It has been moved and seconded that in accordance with the Finance Committee that UCA SGA allocate up to, but not to exceed $72,000 over terms of a 2-year multi-installment contract with the bike share company. All funds derived from the SGA reserves account. Our financial involvement is contingent upon receipt of a letter of guarantee on behalf of the university stating that the University of Central Arkansas would provide $24,000 a year, $48,000 for 2 years for the bike share program. The SGA would supplement the remaining $12,000 a year, $24,000 over 2 years. The implementation of this motion is contingent upon a contractual agreement with the bike share company reached by December 31st, 2017. Discussion, Senator Burton.
Thank you. So this is a lot of talk has been had about the bike share program over the course of the past several weeks. This is what we need to pass to kind of culminate, allow us to work on the program for its implementation, hopefully this spring. This is all the attached on the back is kind of an infographic. If you'll look, the information on this document is derived from the proposals that we've been given from Zaxter, the company that Conway Bike Share uses. It's the company that we're still looking at using, but for the purposes of this motion, we've left it vague if anything changes. Now, this is incredibly pressing that we pass this tonight, or we just vote on this tonight, essentially, because the original proposal that we gave a couple weeks ago had 20 bikes at an $1,800 price point per bike per year. Zaxter has extended to us an opportunity to get 10 free bikes, no extra cost, provided we sign a contract or an agreement is reached by December 31st of 2017. Now, we're still, Vice President Pfaff and I are still in current detailed talks with several different parts of the university to make sure the contract is in line, funding is provided and whatnot. This is our due part. So if you look at it in relative perspective, the University of Central Arkansas SGA would only be spending $6,000 a semester for the bike share program over the course of 4 semesters. So that totals to $24,000. And yes, so if you're curious as to what students were saying, on the back there's a student feedback portion. We had about 124 students respond to the online survey, which is it's a fairly inconsequential number, but it shows that there is definitely positive student sentiment towards the program. They're very interested in convenience and accessibility, transportation, culture, environmental care, etc. Their hesitation is worth the $20 price point for the student annual membership if there was only 1 hour of free ride time. So we've kind of got this resolved. I've worked with Finley Benson at the City of Conway to extend that free ride time for student annual memberships to 90 minutes. So now it's $20 for a year for unlimited intraday sub 90-minute rides. So inside that day you can have unlimited under 90-minute rides. And we've got the opportunity to have essentially a month of an online code for $2 to $4 that allows students to have their first 1 or 2 rides for free. Because there are 2 ways to use the program. You can either buy the student membership for $20 or you can ride hourly. That's a $2 per hour ride. And then we've also got about 30 student annual memberships that our body can give away for free in conjunction with the university as a media blitz or something of that nature to get things on board. Yes, our target implementation date is still March 1, 2018, all business plan. So, that's it.
Any other discussion on the motion? Senator Aldous?
So, thank you, Senator Burton. I have 3 questions. May
Yes. Senator Burton. Will you yield to her?
Yes.
First question, you said about it was maybe 90 minutes. Is it 90 minutes per ride or 90 minutes during the whole day?
90 minutes per ride. It's 90 minutes per ride. So if you check a bike out using the app, using the program, and you have that bike in another dock within 90 minutes, that ride was free. And that is completely perfect. I mean, in 2 minutes, if you want to get the bike out again, from my understanding of how the program works, you're absolutely capable of doing that.
Then maybe I don't understand, but it says that we have to, we're voting about for allocating up to $72,000. Why are we voting for 72 when we only have to pay 24?
Right, so that's how the motion needs to be worded. There's a contingency in the motion that the university is going to be reimbursing us or get a supplementing a portion of our funds, but for the purpose of this motion in our body, we need to have the up to but not exceed $72,000.
Okay.
And Vice President Pfaff can speak to that more.
And just last question, is there a catch to have 10 free bikes?
There's not. So we're approaching the end of the year, and typically companies have extra stock, and they have sweetened the deal a little bit for our student government and have provided us 10 extra bikes. If we were to not come to an agreement by December 31st, if we were to not pass this motion, we'd be losing a $36,000 value over the course of 4 years that we could have had.
Thanks.
So,
thanks.
Yeah.
Senator Oxley?
I just have 2 questions. The first one is the $20, does every student have to pay or if you just want to use them?
Vice President Pfaff, can you answer that?
So, and feel free if I know we'll probably both be fielding a lot of these. So, no, so it's not required that you pay the $20. It's not like you get the program, you got to pay $20.
Okay.
If you don't want to touch a bike, you don't have to pay any money.
Okay.
If you were someone that, and again, kind of the whole strategy of the placement of the docks is so that people that live in Bear Village, they don't need to have a bike. They pay $20, and they for the entire year they can live over in Bear Village, drive from Bear Village to the Student Center or Donaghy Hall, or if we decide to place them other places, they can ride there, drop that bike off, and there's no additional charge, and they can do that unlimited times in a year. If they don't if they have a car and they're never going to get on a bike, they don't know how to ride a bike, they don't have to pay anything.
Okay.
So.
And the 90 minutes, is it you don't pay and you still get that 90 minutes, or you have to pay the annual fee before you get 90 minutes?
Correct. So it's
Okay.
you pay the $20 student membership,
Mm-hmm.
and then you have unlimited sub 90-minute
Okay.
rides. So obviously, if you were to ride one time in 1 year, then you'd be paying $20 for a ride. But if you ride 200 times, you're paying a cent.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Any other questions or Senator Stock?
But just to clarify, like if I was only gonna use the bikes once in the year, I can just pay the smaller fee, just like the $2, whatever it was. So you can kind of gauge on your own scale, oh, I'm gonna use this a lot, I'm just gonna pay it all up front versus I'm just gonna use this once today, I'm just gonna pay this a little bit. Am I correct?
Yes, Vice President Pfaff.
Sorry, and yeah, to point of clarification. So as soon as you sign up for the membership, you have to, like, as collateral, enter in like a form of payment, so a debit card or credit card. And again, that's if you were to run off with their bike and never return it, then obviously you'd be charged for that. But if you don't sign up for the annual membership, then yeah, you'll just, if you take it out from a dock, park it in another dock in an hour, charge you $2, and then it goes up every hour. So you take it for 5 hours, you pay $10.
Senator Gomez.
So you said to pay for the $2, we would use that credit card, debit card. Could we use Bearbucks?
If you guys have a question, can you just start out with point of information, so I know if I need to be prepared to yield it to someone. Okay. Any other discussion? Senator Gilbert.
So do we have any statistics on how many international students who come over here actually do have credit and debit cards? Because I know that when I came to college, I didn't have a debit or credit card, and I know a lot of people when they first come to college may not have access to those to access the program. So this is primarily
Was that a point of information?
Yes.
Okay.
Since it's primarily
I'll
targeted.
Okay. I'll use it. Okay, so one, if you're coming to college and you don't have some type of form of payment that's electronic nowadays, and you don't have a parent that's close by to give you cash, you probably have a debit card or a credit card. So the predominant number of people that are on campus are going to have a credit or a debit card. Do we have specific statistics for the international student population with that regard? No, not to my knowledge. But they've expressed interest in wanting to go to banks. So presumably they can get cash out of an ATM. So that makes me assume that they have a debit card or an ATM card. So I don't think that's going to be a barrier to usership, to ridership at all. And if not, I think if it is, I think the UCA or the SGA can help people finding it.
For another perspective, I'm also going to let Senator Andres go to this question.
Thank you. Yes, and every international student has a debit card because we have fares, whenever we arrive, like a week, not even a week, maybe 3 days after we arrive, there is a fair with all the banks that come and say, hey, do you want to sign up for this, and we pretty much have to have one because we pay with it for tuition and fees and for everything on campus. So it's not going to be a problem for this, for international students.
Thank you. Senator Redding.
So this is going to be for a 2-year contract, $72,000. Worst case scenario, this is a dud. It's not a hit. People don't use it. Is there going to be a large fine for giving all this stuff back and getting it off of our campus, or after that are our hands just clean and they just take it away?
Vice President.
Yeah, so with in email correspondence, what it's kind of referred to as the pilot year, or the pilot 2 years. So obviously, if we start the contract and we enter into an official agreement, it will last for those 2 years. So we will have their product on our campus for 2 years because breaking the contract would not be worth it. And then what could happen is, say it is a dud, we just don't renew a contract. And at the end of that 2 years, they come and they take all their products and they take them away. If we say, wow, this was a fantastic hit, let's keep this on the campus, then we can move forward from there. And so we kind of have a 2-year buffer. And again, in those 2 years, they provide us with quarterly analytics of number of student memberships, number of riders on the bikes, where they're going during the day, what times are hot spots, stuff like that, so that they can kind of build their program to cater specifically to the university. And let's say one station isn't being used, and we hear a lot of feedback that maybe it needs to be somewhere else, then they have the ability to move that. And so that kind of gives us a little bit of leverage in how we can work with the program. So.
Is there any other discussion?
Point of information.
Yes, Senator Russell.
Would the COPA still exist with the bike share? Because I don't see that we need both of them on campus.
Vice President Taft?
Yeah, so that's a great question, and I know I've talked briefly about this with Mr. Hammond, and one of the things that I know Spencer and I, or Senator Burton and I talked about as well, is the scope of what we're trying to do with bike share and the scope of what COPA is trying to do with their bikes. And if you look at the bikes that COPA has, right, they've got hybrid street bikes and they've got mountain bikes. I don't think that it's fair to the servicing that those types of bikes need and also warrant, given that a mountain bike is obviously going to hopefully be used on mountain bike trails, when a bike that can just take you from point A to point B with a little basket, if you need to go pick up groceries, it can do that, right? And then on top of it, granted, again, we would be paying potentially, if all went as well, it'd be $1,200 that's fully serviced. So they have their own employees, so we wouldn't have to worry about, COPA having to stretch out and take additional use of those. So those would still be rentable. So say a student knew that they were going to need a bike for 2 weeks or something, and they wanted to take it to Arizona and go mountain bike on the trails out there or something, then they can do that. And they can still have that service. What we're hoping to do is kind of alleviate some of the pressures of students renting technical bikes for non-technical purposes. And this kind of helps with that because, again, this is not a technical bike. This is a mode of transportation across the city. And so, if someone is, again, wanting to go mountain biking, then they would not take this and they would have the ability to take COPA still.
Thank you. Senator Edgar Lucero.
So I rise in support of this motion. Just hearing everyone's questions and getting those answers, I think that this is a very unique opportunity for the Student Government Association to provide a new service to students, something that is going to be very beneficial not only to our American students but also our international students. So I think this is something that the Student Government Association should strongly consider supporting.
Point of information.
Yes, Senator Mendez.
Senator Mendez Rising. Point of information. So I know that there's a bike share kind of program downtown Conway. Would this be compatible with that? Like, could we drive and leave our bike, or check in the bike over there and then try to drive back to campus? Would it be on the same system?
Senator Burton.
Yes. So that's the whole point. The beauty of this system is that it's a municipality and a college and university coming together and melding the program. So if you wanted to pick up a bike from the student center, drive yourself down to where the big Christmas tree is within 90 minutes. If you bought a student annual membership, you're absolutely capable of doing that. Pick up a bike, you leave it somewhere else. That's the ease and convenience of it. The bike share programs are all across the United States, and these municipalities, they're typically urban, typically have universities with a younger population that are more receptive to environmental friendly modes of transportation, et cetera. So absolutely. Thank you.
Any other discussion? Vice President Bass.
I would just like to make a point of clarification that we are not voting to bring this program to campus right now. So that is not what we're voting on. We are simply voting on our ability to use our money to move into a contract if need be. So it could very well happen that all of these contingencies do not fall into place, and then this is null. So that was kind of the point of that reach by December 31st, 2017. So if that happens, then this is null, and we will resume with our normal modus operandi in spring of 2018. So if we do not pass this, all y'all would be saying is we're forfeiting $36,000 essentially for the same value.
Okay. Any other discussion? No. Okay. It has been moved and seconded in accordance with the Finance Committee, the UCA SGA allocate up to, but not to exceed $72,000 over terms of a 2-year multi-installment contract with the bike share company. All funds derived from the SGA reserves account. Our financial involvement is contingent upon receipt of a letter of guarantee on behalf of the university stating that the University of Central Arkansas would provide $24,000 a year, $48,000 for 2 years for the bike share program. The SGA would supplement the remaining $12,000 a year, $24,000 over 2 years. The implementation of this motion is contingent upon a contractual agreement with a bike share company reached by December 31st, 2017. Roll call vote.
Abbott?
Yes.
Askew?
Yes.
Audress?
Yes.
Folly?
Yes.
Barnes?
Yes.
Burklow?
Yes.
Burton?
Yes.
Chaplin?
Yes.
DePersia? Yes. Dykes?
Yes.
Eddinger Lucero?
Yes.
Gilbert?
Yes.
Gomez?
Yes.
Hawkins? Johnson? Blocking?
Yes.
Lavera? Marbley? I vote yes. McGarity?
Yes.
Mendez?
Yes.
Miller?
Yes.
Morrison? Asile?
Yes.
Bath?
Yes.
Ramirez?
Yes.
Redding?
Yes.
Riggins?
Yes.
Robinson? Sebastian? Sierra? Smith?
Yes.
Stock?
Yes.
Tarka?
Yes.
Teeter?
Yes.
Whitby?
Yes.
Willie?
Yes.
With 31 yeses, 0 nos, and 0 abstentions, the motion passes. Is there any other new business? Senator Mendez.
Senator Mendez Rising. I move that we adopt a resolution sponsored by the Campus Interaction Committee titled UCA Women's Volleyball Recognition.
Any okay.
Second.
Sorry, I didn't want to get up there.
We will take a short recess to allow Sarah Mendez to fill out the motion card.
Please look over the resolution you're going to do.
Yes. I don't. It's not, but it's He's been up for but
Get it in writing.
Okay.
Senator Mendez Rising. I move that the SGA adopt a resolution presented by the Campus Interaction Committee titled UCA Women's Volleyball Recognition.
Second.
Okay, it has been moved and seconded that the UCA SGA adopt a resolution presented by the Campus Interaction Committee titled UCA Women's Volleyball Recognition. Discussion on the motion, Senator Mendez.
So like the football resolution and the men's soccer resolution, we just wanted to recognize our women's volleyball team for their accomplishments this semester, the season. So I'm just going to read off the resolution. Whereas the Sugar Bears won 27 out of 32 games throughout the season and won 13 out of 16 conference games, whereas the Sugar Bears volleyball team swept the Abilene Christian University Wildcats at the Southland Conference Tournament Finals and left with the Southland Conference title, whereas the Sugar Bears qualified for the NCAA Division I Women's Volleyball Championship, whereas the Sugar Bears fought valiantly, but they were defeated by number 10 University of Southern California in the first round of the NCAA Division I Women's Volleyball Championship, And whereas the Student Government Association stands in support of the University of Central Arkansas Sugar Bears volleyball team and would like to recognize them for their accomplishments, therefore be it resolved that the Student Government Association at the University of Central Arkansas wholeheartedly congratulate the women's volleyball team for their conquest of the Southland Conference title and their participation in the Division I NCAA tournament.
Is there any discussion? Senator Ettinger, Lucero?
I would like to make a friendly amendment to add a hyphen in the first stanza to 27 and 32 for grammatical efficiency.
Are there any objections? Okay. Is there any other discussion? Senator DePersia?
I would like to make a friendly amendment to add the word volleyball team after the Sugar Bears in the first whereas clause.
Are there any objections? Did you say volleyball team? Okay. Is there any other discussion? Sarah Miller?
If we're adding that one, then in the fourth whereas clause. Sorry. What? The third and the fourth, sorry.
Are there any objections to adding volleyball team after Sugar Bears in the third and fourth whereas clauses? Okay. Any discussion on the motion?
What information? Does volleyball team need to be capitalized in the second whereas clause after Sugar Bears? Anybody want to use it?
Because Sugar Bears is
No. Okay. Any other discussion on the motion? No? Any questions? Okay. It has been moved and seconded that the UCA SGA adopt a resolution presented by the Campus Interaction Committee titled UCA Women's Volleyball Recognition. Roll call vote.
Abbott?
Yes.
Askew?
Yes.
Audrus?
Yes.
Folly?
Yes.
Barnes?
Yes.
Burklow?
Yes.
Burton?
Yes.
Chaplin?
Yes.
DePersia?
Yes.
Dykes?
Yes.
Ettinger Lucero?
Yes.
Gilbert?
Yes.
Gomez?
Yes.
Hawkins? Johnson? Walkings?
Yes.
Lavera? Marbley? I vote yes. McGarity?
Yes.
Mendez?
Yes.
Miller? Yes. Morrison? Osile?
Yes.
Bath?
Yes.
Ramirez?
Yes.
Redding?
Yes.
Riggins?
Yes.
Robinson? Sebastian?
Yes.
Sierra? Smith?
Yes.
Stock?
Yes.
Tarka?
Yes.
Teeter?
Yes.
Whitby?
Yes.
Willie?
Yes.
With 31 yeses, 0 noes, and 0 abstentions, the motion passes. Is there any other new business? Okay, we will move into announcements. I have a quick announcement. So just for transparency, the men's soccer and the football resolution that we passed, I sent those to Dr. Brad T. He's the athletic director for UCA, and so I already sent those to him, and he's going to be forwarding that to the respective coach and the team. And so he thanks you guys for showing appreciation and support and recognizing those teams, and I will also be sending this. So if anyone had any questions about how the teams were going to know that SGA did this, I'm sending the information to the athletic director who will pass the message along. Okay. Sarah Barnes.
So today in class, my professor took kind of a brief tangent to mention that he noticed around campus a few kind of disturbing signs saying it's okay to be white, which he looked into, and he had been, as a professor, hearing about these signs, these kind of calling cards arriving on campuses around, how we had a rally in Virginia, but they've arrived on this campus. So, and I've heard about other. I haven't seen them personally, but I obviously trust this professor's, what he said about them. So, just as like SGA's kind of purpose to serve students first and be diverse and like choose diversity over hatred. Anytime you see one of those signs, take it down. Like, it's not a school mandated thing. So take those signs down, throw them away. Don't allow that to be on campus. And if anybody asks you about it, just state that SGA is completely not associated. I mean, obviously SGA is not associated with it, but just kind of a stance against it, because it's a very, very disturbing thing. So anyway, just a statement. Yeah.
I'm meeting with President Davis on Wednesday, so I may bring that up and see if the staff senate or faculty senate president have gotten complaints about that as well. So thank you for that. Senator Miller? Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah, go ahead.
Okay. Who has the sign-up sheet for exam plan? Slash, the last time I saw it, nobody had signed up. So it's going to keep on coming. And whenever it gets back up to me, there's going to be a whole page full of signatures, because I know everybody has 10 to 30 minutes to 3 hours to volunteer on Wednesdays. Take a little break and pet some pups. So I cannot wait to see this full sheet by the time it comes to me. So get your pens out and get ready for the summer. I don't know why you passed it. So we are going to write our names. Huh?
We discussed this. I'm going to come at some point.
Okay. Maybe you write your name down. That'll be good. Even if it's a 5-minute, I just need the commitment of your name on the paper, please, Lord. Yes.
I was under the impression that you had to volunteer for the whole time.
No. Like previously stated, any time frame available. 10 minutes, 30 minutes, 1 hour to 3 hours. Whatever that looks like for you, scribble it down, because we are happy to serve our campus, and I can't wait to see how many of you sign up. So this is me sitting down happily.
Vice President Riggins has a comment on that.
Also, they do giveaways, if I'm not mistaken.
For sure.
So if you came the whole time, you could get one of those giveaway tickets, and you might come home with a TV. How often do you volunteer and walk home with the TV? That's pretty rare.
That's a very slim chance.
So follow up. So if you volunteered on the later end, like 9:30 to 10, you would be there for the drawing. So just strategically plan, you could be there and win some things. And kind of puppy you while you're winning. So I don't know about you, but I love free stuff and dogs. So.
That sounds great. Speaking of, where is the sign-up? Point of order, Senate meeting is still in session. Where is the sign-up sheet for finals breakfast? I see some blank spots, so it is also going to make one spot. So if you can do it, please do it. Thank you. Okay, Senator Askew.
All right, so pretty soon I'll be publishing a application for Bear Patrol on OrgSync for new membership for the spring semester. I don't currently have a date for that going up. My hope is to have it up at the start of finals week, but I still need to talk to Randy Price about some of those things. So just be keeping an eye out for that. As upstanding students of this campus, I know that many of you must want to serve in that capacity, so please just keep an eye out for that.
Volunteer hours.
Yes, volunteer hours galore.
Senator Bartley.
The date for the calendar for the RC3 was Friday, March 30th from 12 to 3 in schools in the courtyards.
Thank you. Senator Gilbert.
Okay, so 2 things. First off, if you think that you actually don't win things at exam jam and late night breakfast, think again. I won something my freshman year. Wasn't anything big, just a DVD box set, but it was still nice. And then the second thing, I found out 2 days ago that I have been admitted to the UCA grad school for the fall, and I accepted it.
Just kidding, sorry. Fall. In the fall for your yes. Senator Watkins.
Okay, so as you know, for SGA, we've lost a lot of senators this past semester. However, we are losing a special senator next semester. Senator Smith is going to finish
is going to finish base training and job training for the Navy, something like that. But we just wanted to wish him good luck, and so the exec board and some senators got you that, and I also made you cookies.
Do you have any words?
I'm speechless.
Oh, thank you for that. That was very sweet. We'll miss you.
I'm really excited, though.
For sure. Senator Audras.
Yes, just to remind everybody that this weekend there's a Christmas concert by the Conway Symphony Orchestra, Saturday night and Sunday, I don't know what time. The Saturday night is the best one, 7 or 7:30.
Any other announcements? Sarah Miller.
Hello again, everyone. Since all of you have now signed up, I love that. But wear your name tag. I don't care what else you wear. If you want to wear your clothes, that'd be phenomenal. But if you don't, at least wear your name tag, like I am not doing right now. So wear it to the exam jam. So they say, "Hey SGA, thanks for coming," and you'll say, "You're welcome."
Please try to wear your polo or your what are they called? Quarter zip. Which I've seen a lot of you wear it around campus, and it makes me very proud. Thank you. I don't think he ever takes it off. It's okay. Very much appreciated. Any other announcements? No? Okay. Well, this is the last Senate meeting for this semester. The other event. Wait, I'm not done. I'm not done. Sad. So see you guys on Thursday at the holiday reception. Come with your bellies empty and ready to mingle. So with that being said, meeting adjourned.
Go to the president's house. Don't come here.
Oh yeah.
How do we go It's across the street. Oh yeah, Spencer's like has to be.